All right, we also said a minute ago that we wanted to make sure we knew how to lock off the device. For a short-term lock off, all I need to do is bring the handle down into the lock position, and I can make an adjustment back here or some other activity. But if I want to leave the device unattended, I'm going to walk away from it. I would like to secure it more definitively, and so we're going to tie it off. And so the way that we're going to tie this off is with our rope clipped through our extra carabiner here, handle in the lock position. I'll just pull up a bight of rope, a little extra rope from the bag, and I've just come back up towards the load direction, and I'm simply going to tie an overhand on a bight around our working rope, our tension rope. So this serves then to lock the device off in case there would be any slip or creep in the device. The other thing that this does is it serves almost as a lockout, tagout type indicator. Anybody that comes up to this now sees that the device is tied off, and they should recognize that this shouldn't be played with. Somebody is either hanging on this rope or may very shortly be hanging on it, and they're not expecting it to move. And so that serves as a visual indicator as well as a mechanical stop, if you will, in keeping the load from moving. So that's our standard tie off. If you want to go back to the operation, I just simply undo that overhand, and I'm ready to go back to lowering. Simple as that. All right, we said we wanted to take a look at the raising operation part of this. How do we turn our lowering system, something that controls descent, into a system that we can use to raise the load? The typical way that we do this 99% of the time is we use what we refer to as a ganged on pulley system. We're going to take another pulley system, such as the pre-built pulley system we have here in the form of the Aztec kit, and we're going to attach it to our main line, the red rope. This is where we're going to incorporate the additional hole on our rigging plate as an attachment point for our main line. We have to incorporate a rope grab of some sort on the red rope with which to attach our pulley system to. You have two options. We can look at either using a prusik loop, or we can use the hard rope grab in the form of the Petzl rescue sender. Either one works for this application. So if I can install the prusik on here. It's the typical 3-wrap prusik. I can put that on. The new sewn loop or bound loop prusiks make that go on pretty quickly, so I can do that. Or I could use the hard rope grab again. I simply pull the safety pin loose, remove the main pin, put the rope into the shell, making sure that the cable isn't caught in there, and then reinstall the main pin by lining up the holes and making sure the safety catch is in place. Remember that one of the big differences between the prusik and the rope grab, the rescue sender is a directional device. If I put it on backwards, it's not going to do the job for me. So when I put it on, there's an arrow on the end of it, and that points, again, at the thing that I'm trying to pull up. Not the direction I'm trying to pull, it points at the thing that I'm pulling on. The prusik works either direction. So you have your preference, you have your choice, you can do it either way. Either one is fine. For our demonstration today, we'll use the rescue sender and set the prusik aside. So I have my attachment point. I have a place for me to anchor my pulley system. The Aztec kits that the teams have, while it may not look like this, you have a different version of it, is a great tool for this because it allows us to make up to 8 or 10 foot pulls before we have to do a reset. Keep in mind, if you think back to our system design presentations that we do in our programs, I want to have, as a matter of designing the system, 10 to 15 feet of space where I can do this raising operation. So I simply clip the pulley system in, one to the anchor, lock the carabiner, and then on the upper end, make the attachment to the rope grab. Then I can stretch the pulley system out within the limits of the workspace that I have. The extra rope will typically just deploy, or the cord rather, will just deploy right out of the bag that the Aztec kit comes in, and we can stretch this out to wherever we want to go. Then we're ready to go up. So we'll get our haul team in here, and they can start pulling on the rope, and I'll show you how we're going to operate this system in concert with the Petzl ID. All right, we're all set up to do a raising operation. Our pulley system's in place. We have our ID still in place. Our load right now is on the ID, and we have our extra carabiner here for our friction that we use during our lowering operation. To start our raising operation then, one of the things that will be helpful is for you to get rid of the extra carabiner. It'll make progress capturing a little easier, and you'll see what I mean here in just a moment. So I've removed that extra carabiner. I don't need the friction right now because I'm coming up, not lowering down. As the haul team gets ready to haul, we're going to develop slack in our red rope, as you'll see during the operation. And I'm going to progress capture that slack by pulling rope through the ID in exactly the same way we did earlier when we demonstrated how we move rope through here, okay? So main line ready for up rope. The load comes up, and you'll notice, again, the ID goes slack. This red rope's getting slack because the tension or the weight is now on the pulley system. As they continue to raise then, what I'll do to account for that is simply pull rope through the ID, just like we did in our earlier demonstration. So as the load continues to come up, at some point we're going to run out of travel distance. If we're coming a long distance, I'm going to run out of travel distance, and the two pulleys are going to bang into each other. So for our demonstration, let's get to the point where we're saying the other pulleys are right here. We call for stop, stop. I've taken up the progress here. The haul team now can go slack on their line, and the load now transfers back to the ID. Now it's just a fairly simple matter for us to reset our pulley system. I can pull this back out. We can get another bite at the system, as it were, and we can repeat this again. Up rope. The person running the ID can simply take up the slack as we go. Stop. And we could do this as many times as necessary to raise the load up to the height that we need. We're doing it in just short little bites, 10, maybe 12-foot bites in the case of using the Aztec kit, which is a perfect tool for this. As we mentioned in previous programs, most of our raising operations are fairly short, and so this type of a setup here is very convenient. It fits well into the industrial setting. That's how we operate our raising system. And just to kind of close the loop on the whole process, if for some reason we did need to go back to a lowering system, we just allow the pulley system to go slack. We can unclip it to remove it out of the way. They could take off the other end, and then to go back to lowering, I just re-engage our extra friction carabiner, and we're ready to go back into lower. We're back to the same situation. So at no time do we lose control of the load. It's under tension, our anchor is under tension the whole time, and we can switch back and forth from up to down as the needs of the incident call for. All right, that concludes our little presentation on lowering systems and the incorporation of a raising system. Now's the time for you guys to get together with your team, head on out into the plant and practice some of this. Remember, as you're practicing this, if you're going to use live loads, you'll of course want to incorporate your belay system as a second point of contact for your rescuer. Again, refer back to the belay presentation if you need a little more information on that using the Petzl ASAP. When you're getting out there, again, during your live operations, make sure that you are doing your safety checks, double checking your systems, and get your hands on this stuff and practice, practice, practice. The only way you're going to get good with this is to get out there and do it. So good luck, work safely, and I'll see you at the next one. Till then, take care.